Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Today is the second day of Geeta Jayanthi celebrations by Geeta Ashram Malaysia. Yesterday we have seen the summary of first chapter, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Today we are going to have the summary of second chapter called Sankhya Yoga or Jnana Yoga. In this chapter there are 72 slokas, verses. This is the second biggest chapter of all 18 chapters. The 18th chapter with 78 verses, it is the biggest in terms of verses, the length of the chapter. The second biggest is this 72 verses, second chapter. Altogether we have about 700 verses in Shrimad Bhagavad Geeta. Arjuna threw away bow and arrows and decided not to fight. At the same time, if he would have ran away from the battlefield, okay, there ends the story. But he squatted there. And then some changes happened. He is psychologically depressed. He is in a dilemma. He has taken some decision, that is not to fight. But again he is not happy about that decision. He feels something wrong with his decision. It's not correct. Then the questions inside him, because modern man, we see that he studies and do research in everything except himself. This, who am I? Am I the body or the mind? In deep sleep, nothing is functioning. I am not transacting any business. Then this body and mind are just like goggles I wear. I use them. I go home, no more use of these goggles. I put it on the table and then go to sleep. I keep them aside. I don't need them. I don't need this body and mind because I am not this body and mind. Then who am I? So this sort of something happened. Then he looked at Sri Krishna. First 10 slokas, such a change. A person who does not want to fight, he surrenders to Sri Krishna. He says, I am your disciple. I am confused. Please help me. Please guide me. What is right action? What should I do? I am totally confused. I surrender to thee. I supplicate. I myself fall at your feet. Sastanga pranam. So this tremendous change. Then when he says that I am your disciple, Saranagati, Sri Krishna accepts him as his patient. He decides to help him. And then this chapter, 4 important parts we can have in this. The first thing is Saranagati. And the second thing is this Gnana Yoga, which is the most important, thing in Shrimad Bhagavad Geeta, the Sri Krishna's teaching. And then the Karma Yoga. That means the most important things have come in this second chapter. Then whatever the headings are given here, the vocabulary that we pick up is explained thoroughly the rest of the Bhagavad Gita. So now we will see this Gnana Yoga. This consciousness we have to highlight, we have to remember this throughout the Gita, Bhagavad Gita, because Sri Krishna again and again he will tell, you come to me. The worship that is done like this will come to me. I am all in all. This sort of very superlative, this about himself. I am the way. These things are spoken by Sri Krishna. This is not in relative sense that he is the Superman and all others are inferior to him. This is not out of arrogance or egotism, that we have to understand. Once for all, this doubt has to be very clear in our minds. Otherwise, it will lead to much worse confusion than what Arjuna got in Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. The Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, is talking in terms of the highest jnana, that is consciousness. As consciousness, he is supreme. As consciousness, he is the only way. So if anybody who aims to get this consciousness are reaching the ultimate reality in Vedanta, the essence of Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, all these things he has merged into one text. This is Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. He is giving that. He is not just happy Madhvacharya's Dvaita or Vishishtadvaita of Ramanujacharya, or even for that matter the Samskaras Advaita. He will explain to us, coming down to our level, the Dvaita way, the Vishishtadvaita way, the Advaita way. He does not take any sides. Everything is included in him. Then what else he can tell? When everything is included in him, knowing that he cannot simply fool people, he will tell real. Yes, you come to me, you will get it. You go to lower gods, worship them, you will get what you want there. You want occult powers, okay, you will get that. But they are not going to give the supreme realization, the ultimate realization, the ultimate truth of Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, and the purpose of life. No, you don't get it. You are sidetracked. Very clearly he will explain, threadbare. But here we must know what is consciousness. There are so many names for this consciousness. In our scriptures it is used, in Bhagavad Gita also it is used. Chit, one name of consciousness. Chaitanya, we keep our children's names as Chaitanya, that is one name of consciousness. Gnana, Vijnana, Pragnana, all these things in Bhagavad Gita you will get in each chapter differently. All this is indicative of consciousness. When we are not this body and mind, what else we are? They are merely goggles, a tool, a media to experience this world. But where from they are getting the strength? Consciousness. So this consciousness, when we think, we have to also know about the consciousness. They are not part, product or property of something. It is part of God. No. When you say consciousness, uncut, you can't cut it. You can't pierce it. You can't make it into pieces. You can't put fire and destroy it. You can't make it wet, pouring water on it. This is not part of anything or product of anything. Son of Mr. Consciousness is son of so and so. No. It is independent. And it's not property of anybody. It's not anybody's property. You can't simply put consciousness in your pocket. It doesn't listen to you. It is not working under you. Consciousness is its own master, independent entity. And not only this, Chit, Chaitanyas, Jnana, Vijnana, Prajnana, all this, it is not part and product and property of anything, but it pervades. That is another thing about consciousness we have to remember. It pervades. It is not limited in a room, locked into a room. No, it pervades. No walls can obstruct its flow. It enlivens our body. At the same time, it is not limited by our body, and body is not the boundary for it. We are alive because of consciousness. It enlivens us. This all-pervading consciousness will enliven us. It continues to exist after this body goes away, passes away, what we call death. So these things, 4 points, not part, product, property, independent entity, all-pervading, it enlivens our body, but not limited with our body. It is not bound to our body. It continues even after the body dies. Then how to get an example for this? Say you put your hand against a light, a lamp. The light falls on your hand. It is visible. You remove your hand, still the light is flowing, but it is not visible. Can you say there is no consciousness? Your body, your mind as a media, getting the reflection of that consciousness is enlivened. They say you are very good, successful, achiever, all that. And you are useless, you are dull, you are lazy, all that adjectives. But this consciousness merely is falling on your hand so that your hand is seen in the light of consciousness. But it is not touched by your laziness, your worthlessness, your achievements, your success. So this we have to, with this light example, that is why when Atman, this Atman is consciousness, we are coming to that now. This Atman is compared with light. That is why we are taking the lamp example. Light falls on any article, it is enlivened, it is visible, it is felt, it is seen. And without that light, zero. So in this chapter, Sri Krishna explains Atman. He speaks of 6 features of this Atman in this chapter, and this he elaborates in other chapters. It will not leave us. That's why we have to go to the essence of this chapter. Summary means what? We have to get into the essence of this chapter, not the details of the chapter. And this essence will help us to understand the whole Bhagavad Gita, because this is very, very important chapter in Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. Sri Krishna explains 6 features. He speaks of 6 features of this Atman. What is that? Atma is this Nitya. It is eternal. Atma is Satya. It is the truth, and it is the only truth. All what we see in this world, the shadow fight that we are making and suffering, it's not real. But Atman is Satya, real. And then again, the third feature is Sarvagata. Atman is Sarvagata. That means that all pervading, the visibility, the Vyaktam. In Sanskrit there is one word called Vyaktam, manifesting. So it manifests everywhere. It doesn't require any visa, any passport. Nobody can stop. No military on earth can stop this consciousness. Hey, don't enter our country. Nobody can ban it. It decides, it chooses, it enlivens. That manifestation is this Sarvagata. Then Aprameya. It is the experiencer, never experienced. It is always a subject, not an object. Object will come and go. This subject called Atman remains forever because it experiences. It is not experienced. Oh, I have experienced consciousness. Nobody can tell like that. Because who is experiencing all your experiences? That is Atman. Without Atman you can't experience. Without Atman you can't see. Without Atman you can't hear. Only the external ear, middle ear, inner ear, all these ears, nothing. Without consciousness, these ears, clinically alive we are. Nothing works. We are in a coma state. We experience pain and pleasure when this Atman plays its role. Atman is that experiencer. Without Atman we cannot experience. And then the fifth one is Atman is Akarta Abhokta. This is a very, very big thing. All this world suffering is coming that we are doing and we are experiencing. That I am doing this Kartrutva, doership. And I am enjoying this, the experiencer. This we are falsely giving it to our body and mind. Whereas this body and mind are not the Karta or Bhokta. And the Atman again giving that experience, making us feel that experience, feel the taste of it, but it is not doing. That means it is making us think that we are doing. Our media called body, our media called mind, but it itself is untouched. That is why the sin does not touch. That some theory of that. But again, the person who is overindulging and doing all sorts of evil activities, so he cannot say that the sin is, he is not sinning. I am Atman, I am not sinning, I am Atman, I have not killed anybody. My Atman is pure. So you punish who has killed. My Atman did not kill that person. That sort of argument won't hold anything, because that is only what you call escapist, opportunistic, using what they call devil speak scriptures. Here, in order to understand the nature of Atman, we are trying our best to use this vocabulary given by Sri Krishna in Shrimad Bhagavad Geeta. When actual experience of that Brahman, that consciousness comes to us, we don't do anything wrong. Doing wrong things and quoting Atma Tattva is not going to help us. We have to suffer. We have to get back what we have given. So that means akarta abhokta means karma and karma phala. It is not expecting any fruits of action or any action for that matter. Atman. And then Atman, that is consciousness, is also Nirvikara. What is Nirvikara? Vikara means modifications. Nirvikara means without any modifications. Which we have 6 modifications, that we take birth and then grow and then change, old age and all, disease and decay and death. All these changes, modifications are must for our body. And mind also subtle. Mind, though subtle, it is also like body. It is also limited. It is also a media. A pure mind is a different story. The ordinary mind is nothing less than body. Body is unreal, this mind, ordinary mind, also unreal. We can't believe it. Changing entity. Every second it is changing. It has no philosophy of its own. So but when it is purified, that means we are experiencing that Atman. I am Atman. I am not body. I am not mind. That pure mind. Very nearer. Almost touching, but can't touch because it is mind. It has a limitation. But it is almost reached. That Sattvika nature. That mind is Atman. Suddha Man and Suddha Atman are one and the same, Sri Ramakrishna says. When mind is purified, that is equivalent to Atman. So these 6 modifications are not there for the Atman. The ordinary mind goes these changes. I am old, I am young, I am beautiful, I am ugly, I am rich, I am poor. All these things won't touch Atman. And when we realize this, that is the permanent remedy for all our problems. Sri Krishna touches this in this 2nd chapter. And then Jnana Yoga, we can call this as Jnana Yoga. Then he will come to verse 39 to 53, Karma Yoga. This Karma Yoga, the traditional Vedantis, Advaita philosophers, will not treat this as ultimate thing to give us the realization of the consciousness or Brahmanhood or Atma realization, self-realization, God realization. The Karma Yoga, no. Karma Yoga cannot give. Only Jnana Yoga will give like that. They fight it out. They shout Karma Yoga. But again, Sri Krishna really is throughout Shrimad Bhagavad Gita and throughout even Shrimad Bhagavatam, his story and his Leela, he is all inclusive. He takes every one of us into his bosom. He has no enemy. He treats everybody alike. So that's why he really makes fun of our philosophers. Some slokas he will tell Karma Yoga is the ultimate. In some verses he will tell Jnana Yoga is the ultimate. Arjuna will now and then ask, you tell definitely what is that? Yesterday you told like this, today you look like that. Of course, this all happened on the battlefield in one single stretch. But he will tell, you told just now like this, and you are telling now, you definitely you tell me. Then again he will tell so beautifully, is logically, very beautiful wordings, that he will tell that, yes, I have told, that is correct. Yes, I told this also, this is correct. He, like that only, the churning will take place. It's not easy to get ghee out of milk. How much churning, how much preparations, how much waiting. So that is done in our modern Zen Buddhism also. These very typical puzzles are given to uncondition our mind very effectively, successfully. Sri Krishna does in Bhagavad Gita, through Bhagavad Gita verses, his dialogue with Arjuna. He will simply smash all our, we have to empty ourselves, there is no other go. Saranagati does not mean, oh God, I surrender to you, I take refuge at your feet. Not that. We have to omit everything. We have to empty our minds. Nothing to keep as our own. Complete surrender is possible only then. Then only he will take up. Till that time he kept quiet. When he told, I fall at your feet and you are my only way, and then I surrender to you, you tell me what I should do. Then only he has taken up this case of Arjuna. So this verse 39 to 53, Karma Yoga. And there are some via media people, they say that the Gnana Yogyata Prapti, that means you get a qualification to gain knowledge. That is Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga has played, of course, Sri Krishna told about Karma Yoga. You cannot, actually Karma Yoga only is telling you fight it out. You fellow, you fight it out. Don't talk like a Gnani. First go and fight your Kshatriya Dharma. What is right to you, you do. Otherwise you incur sin. Sri Krishna says. So then Karma Yoga or Gnana Yoga, we need not have to struggle with that. Because we follow only one yoga. Sri Krishna is super consciousness. He is the embodiment of all love, all energy. And I need him. I don't have any separate entity. I don't have any entity at all. This body is nonsense, this mind is nonsense. I surrender to him. So when you want to listen to Gnana Yoga of Sri Krishna or Karma Yoga of Sri Krishna? You want Sri Krishna himself. You don't compromise for anything less. Who cares this? Tools. I want that substance. I love that substance. I want to become one with that substance. So that should be our attitude. Let us not get into the scholarship arguments of this Karma Yoga, Gnana Yoga. But again, Sri Krishna tells about Karma Yoga. What is Karma Yoga? Proper action and proper attitude. This is Karma Yoga. And proper activity, proper action, how can we do, how can we know? That means we are of different nature. Tamasika. We do some sadistic activities to get joy. That is Tamasika. Rajasika, very selfish. Do you know who I am? That sort of arrogance. And that restlessness comes with that. And that is Rajasika actions. Then Satvika, Nishkama Karma. I don't want anything. I don't want anything, no result. Just, if I look at Sri Krishna, that is enough for me. If I get a place near his feet, that is enough for me. That sort of karma, Nishkama Karma, that is Satvika, which will take us nearer to God. But still that is a limitation. Even that we have to throw away. The goodness, I am good, I do so much japa, I do so much meditation, that also is terrible ego it will create. Very subtle ego, but it does not take us to God. Expansion is life, contraction is death. Swami Vivekananda says. This Sattvika karma, Nishkama karma will expand our hearts. The limitations of our kith and kin, all that we go beyond that and help others. That is that Nishkama karma. And that karma has to be performed, Sri Krishna says. And proper attitude, What is the proper attitude in doing karma? That means we should enjoy our work. When we enjoy our work, we don't seek any returns. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. We offer to Shri Krishna everything. And whatever He gives, He will give a blow, He will beat us, He will scold us, we will take it as His prasadam. This is the proper attitude when we do karma yoga. Then again, most important, very quickly we will now go through this very sthita prajna. Many people chant every day this. A person who has practiced karma yoga and jnana yoga successfully, he will get this sthita prajna lakshanas. Characteristics of sthita prajna. Sthita prajna means what? Serene mind with equanimity. That is sthita prajna. No wavering of the mind. Very firm. So this 6, that is 3 each, we have how to become sthita prajna. This will be our question. Because anything very, very fascinating, this sthita prajna, equanimity, stress management, all these things we are undergoing now. How to become sthita prajna? So that sadhana part of this, Sri Krishna says, Indriya Nigraha, no compromise, sense mastery. We have to control our senses, not suppress them, regulate them. We have to regulate them, we have to give them higher turn. They are going downwards. Pick it up, no, that is not the way. Don't behave like that. Cats and dogs do that. You do like that. No. Come on. Go upwards. That is Indriya Nigraha. Then thoughts have to be disciplined. So that past impressions will be haunting us. Not only of this birth, but past births. It's called Samskaras. So when we meditate and do control our mind and things like that, they come with terrible energy, so much energy. They have to be nip in the bud itself. We should not waste our time trying to understand where from this ugly thought has come. I am such a pious man, doing japa and dhyana, everything so nicely. I am born in a very good family. Where from these ugly thoughts, terrible thoughts, very, very base thoughts are coming? Don't go into that. It's a big ocean. Not worth it to know. When you know you are in a mess, that is enough. And try to come out of that mess. Try to find a way out rather than trying to research on that. Going to astrologers and finding out about our past. That's not going to help us. And then, how to become sthita prajna? The most important practice that we have to do is dwell upon positive things, positive teachings, positive philosophy. Nididhyasana it is called in Vedanta. We listen Shravana. Most of us leave it there itself, hear from one ear to another ear. And again, manana should be there, introspection and deep meditation. Going on dwelling in that same, I am not this body, I am not. Oh, yesterday I thought same thing, again today, again same exercise, I am not this body, I am not mind. Yes, as long as you feel your body and mind, the misery is there. And you have to go beyond body and mind, which are unreal, which are a lie. You are trying to cover it up, everything with those lies of your body and mind. So better to dwell every day also, you have to dwell, every second of our life also we have to dwell on that. What is permanent, what is nitya, what is satya. So this, then only we will get the freedom. Sthita prajna, when we become, what will happen? Freedom, there's these things, binding desires, binding forces, these troublemakers. And we will get self-fulfillment. Purnatvam, we are full. And not only that, we get a tranquility, we are pure. Purnatvam we have got, self-fulfilled. I got a job, I am earning, I am rich. No, not that Purnatvam. This is tranquility, Samatvam. You are not disturbed by any waves. Here, somehow, by hook or crook, we get something in life and think that it's a big achievement. But again, next day, we are down because some calamity. So, in this Sthita Prajna case, self-fulfillment has happened in him, and that is not disturbed at all, Samatvam, because he is so tranquil. So, we all pray to Sri Krishna to give that Purnatvam and Samatvam, the fulfillment and tranquility to our lives. Sri Ramakrishna Arpan, Sri Krishna Arpanamastu.